Hey guys, Pastor Joe here. I made up this little PowerPoint, hopefully to bring some clarity to some of these things that we're doing in the church. I'm hoping to send out some more training videos to you guys with all the little different changes that are happening. I would love for some questions and for some feedback of um, how this, of any other questions that you may have after watching this, or if I just confused you more. I don't want to do that. So please, please don't be afraid to talk to me after. So the net, the big board. Okay, this is what we have been working on. So where this came from, I really believe, is out of Matthew 9:36-38. Jesus is looking at crowds. He has compassion on them. Another word for that is pity, because he saw them harassed and helpless. Now, Jesus recognized this. They're sheep without shepherd, and he is just one guy. And so he cannot possibly minister to all these people at the same time. And so he says, tells his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out the workers into the harvest field. In the very next chapter, Jesus then sends out the disciples into the harvest field to be the workers. I am one person. There's no way that I could just minister to 100 people or more. You are those people. You are those workers. You are those ministers that God has called. You are those shepherds that God has called to minister to the people. And so I'm excited for the season that we're going into, where we're going to actually be ministering to all the people. And so why are we using this model that we're calling the net? Well, it's a visual. We can see it all the time when we go back there. It's something that you can see every individual person in our church. We can hold each other accountable. We can serve one another and say, like, hey, I got a really good relationship with this person. Let's put them on my team. Or, hey, you have a really good relationship with them. Why don't you take this person? We're trying to create little community groups that we can help keep accountable to each person, and not neglect someone. We want to care for each person individually. They matter. They matter to Jesus, and they should matter to us. And this process will work if we really buy in. But we got to buy in. We got to buy into the calling. We got to buy into the putting them into groups. We got to buy into the talking to our group leaders and so on. So this is just a visual of like what the board looks like and what each column and row actually means. So the top row is the core value leaders and assistants. Those two boxes below will have your groups with your group leaders. And then the fourth one down is at risk. Those people who you are not getting in touch with. We might need to move them to another team or to the world folders. And then the bottom one is going to be the new fish and the first time visitors. This is an example of one individual column just broken out a little more. They will say your group, your value name at the top, which you will then have your leader and then the assistant leaders. And then below that will be the individual groups, okay, that will manage this. So like really Anthony's in charge of, would oversee a Sharon, a Tara, a Guy, and a Renee. And then a Sharon and Guy and Renee and Tara would oversee those people underneath them. And then those at-risk people, those people who might need help, might need to move, might need to work and move into the world. And then at the bottom is the new visitor. They should always be an orange name. Okay, and what do the colors actually mean? The black names simply mean that they're part of the family. They're members. They're baptized. The blue, green, and red, if we do get to red, or when we do, are leaders in the church or potential leaders in the church. So like you saw on the previous side, I had Renee as a green name because she's technically leading a smaller group. It clearly identifies her as that leader of those people. And so, and then we have the orange names. What are those? Those are visitors and returning visitors. So a visitor is someone who walked in the door for the first time. And then a returning visitor is someone who came back, but not yet part of the family. They're not members. So membership simply means that they're believers, they've been baptized, and they've come to our Connections luncheon and taken our membership class, which we hope to get started. What does the net have to do with our church? The net is all about making sure that people are not forgotten and neglected. We don't want to miss anyone. I don't want us to say that saying that sometimes we can end up saying down the road and go, hey, whatever happened to, and just put whatever name after it. And I can remember many times that I've had to say that saying. And so here's one thing I want to clarify. What is the net not? Okay, the net is not your ministry team. It is not your smaller board. Your smaller boards is where you're actually doing the functions of the church. The net is simply a community, little mini community groups that we're reaching every single person. So this is what it helps us do. It helps us live in community, create these mini community groups. It helps us manage attendance. If someone is not coming to church, they will easily be noticed. It helps us see people in the church at a glance. We get to see everybody. You get to see the whole entire church and say, hey, who could possibly come onto my ministry team? What relationships do I already have with people or don't have with people, and so on. And we get to begin to empower people in our church to oversee smaller groups of people. And so, in short, this is it. That was the training. If you have any questions, please call me. I want to take the phone calls, and I'm happy to talk about this on Sunday too, if you'd like. All right. Have a good night, everyone. And or have a good day wherever you're at.